Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Soul Rehab Project. This is Sarah Saxby, and this is the podcast where we talk about truth because everything in our life has been a lie. In today's episode, I want to talk about authenticity, like real authenticity, and how most of us walk around with the internal not matching the external. How we present ourselves to the world, to our community, to our families, does not align with how we feel inside. Anyone who's been with me for quite some time, I know sometimes it feels like I'm talking about a lot of things. It does to me anyway. But at the end of the day, it boils down to me talking about authenticity and what is not authentic. And that is sometimes global, what I'm seeing out there, and it's sometimes personal. And I mentioned this in another podcast, how ever since I was little, I had the ability to sense contradiction in people. I know what their motives are, regardless of what they say, but I also know when there's a contradiction from what they're saying or how they're acting internally to what it looks like externally. And I know it's 100% spot on. It is 100%. There is no way that somebody can tell me, oh no, my marriage is great. And if I'm feeling that there's a contradiction there, it's 100% accurate. There's no room for error there. There's just not. And those of you that have that ability can attest to that. It's never wrong. It never has been wrong. I've had a lot of people argue with me and then 10 years later get divorced. And it's just like they're not willing to see it or they're just not able to see it yet. And as a child, I couldn't speak of such things. I learned to not talk about what I see. I learned to not talk about the contradiction I saw in people because I had to protect myself. And today I no longer have to do that. So if somebody hires me to help them align internally with the external, then they're going to hear what I see. You have to be ready for what it is I see. There's no sugarcoating. The more that I have become true to myself, to my soul, I have become internally aligned with the externals. How I am inside is how it's looking outside. And the more that I do that, the more that I'm seeing the things that don't align, the things that contradict on the outside, whether it's in our world or personally. And as you do that in your life, things start to open up and become obvious as you are more aligned with your inner truth. You're more in touch with that. So I was born with the ability to do that. But I can tell you that I was a person who was not authentic. I mean, I've talked to people who say, well, no, I feel like I'm a truthful person. And looking back, I'm like, yeah, I was too. I never would intentionally want to hurt anyone. I'm sure I've hurt plenty of people, but I never would do it intentionally. And all through my life, how I felt inside did not match with how my life looked. Because people could say, oh, you got married, you have kids, you have 2 cars, you have a house in a suburb, you go on a vacation. But I know if I was really being true to who I was, things would have looked very different. But I didn't know any different. Over time, and I've learned this myself, that internal contradiction starts to get really heavy. We cannot keep internally contradicting ourselves forever. I mean, I guess we can, but you can start to see that on people's faces and bodies and their energy. It's getting more obvious as time goes on because now that time is so condensed, we're still trying to juggle the internal external contradiction, and you're starting to see it on people.